Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Pokemon Duel. Today we're talking about the next Gym Cup and doing the gym deck prep video. So we're going to be going through all the electric types, all the ground types, the one electric ground type, Stunfisk. He's not good though. And we're going to be seeing who's probably going to be the best, who's going to dominate, and also some interesting counters that there might be in there you can put in your deck to hopefully counteract some of the OP figures in this gym. So let's start with the electric types. There's not much choice in the electric department in EX figures. We only have Zapdos, Raikou and Zekrom, but that's all you're going to need in an electric deck. Because Zapdos, if you have 3, you are super lucky. I only have 1 because I think I fused one into another Zapdos, and that's going to be a killer. With the Soar ability, you can just pass through Pokemon, and this will be a gym of surrounds, especially considering, you know, Raikou and Jolteon's abilities of being able to pass through paralyzed Pokemon. It's going to be really tough to stay on top of these decks without any figures that can effectively knock them out or counter them. You might need some full heals to prevent those paralyzed. I also recommend, if you're running flying types, Zekrom and Zapdos, to potentially run a tropical energy disc play, because you will be able to remove paralyze from all your flying types. So that's going to be a huge bonus. Zapdos is going to be the killer. Like I say, 3, huge attack of 100 with a yellow disc, ability to paralyze, roost and steel wing to back it up just in case. Is going to be killer, no doubt. Zekrom at 3 MP I'm really fearful of, because that fly, you know, one of the most deadly figures in the very beginning of the game was Latias, because of that ability to fly away straight away. Somebody 2 MP moves, you go in with a 3 MP, jump over, and you've got a shot in on their goal. Well, Zekrom is going to be able to get right next to the goal with that move, and if it hits fly, 1 to 2 steps away. So that's where Yellow Discs and the Zapdos is going to be one of the best counters to Zekrom. You know, his Bolt Strike going up to 90, Fusion Bolt 70. You are going to get plus 10 with, if you use the new plate that we've got. Is it Thunder Energy? Let's check. I definitely recommend picking up this plate, because giving plus 10 to your electric types, not that type. You probably want that. Electro Energy removes paralyzed conditions from all your electric type Pokemon, so that's also going to function like a tropical energy. So you probably want to run Electro Energy, but you may not want to spend 72 gems for that ability. But during this duel, if one of your electric type would deal damage and there is an electric type Pokemon adjacent to it, that damage increases by 10. So the chances are you're going to be facing an electric type Pokemon, so that will mean there's an electric type adjacent to it. Or you can just run it, make sure that you keep somebody behind backing it up, so that you get that plus 10 and your turn ends. That's going to be huge. So Zapdos is going to go up to 110 if you potentially use that ability. Not going to come out straight off the bat with that ability. Obviously, it's not going to have somebody adjacent to it, but it will do if you're attacking an electric type. I was really tempted by the Jolteon deck, you know, 3 Jolteon, suicide deck, get your opponents paralyzed, and then go in with the, you know, being able to pass through them. Zapdos is going to be able to do that without being paralyzed, and we're going to, if people are using Electro Energy, people are just going to remove that condition, and you may put yourself in a vulnerable position thinking that you're going to be able to pass through them because of that. They pull that, and then all of a sudden you can't pass through them, and they might gain an advantage from that potentially. But it's just the fact that it gets no buff at all, because it's already 3 MP type. 40 and 30 will mean it's really easy to take out, but definitely an option if you are running short on. I mean, I only have Zapdos and Raikou to really choose for my electric types. Raikou I picked up, I think I picked this up in a gym booster ages ago, like the 2nd gym. This Pokemon cannot have weight, which could be effective, but I don't think there's many abilities that are going to be inflicting that. Can MP move through Pokemon on the field that are paralyzed or have weight? So that's all have weight. So you can potentially, and I think that will be a real hidden move. You know, some people might not be aware of that. People might not have Raikou in the deck, and so you might not have checked this guy out. You guys will have, because I'm telling you about it. Watch your weight there are ground types that can inflict weight, and Raikou will be able to pass through with that. I'm quite excited by that. Playing through with Pokemon in the field that are paralyzed. If you become paralyzed and then inflict weight on somebody, you could technically strategically use that to get us around. So look out for that strategy. Thunder, 110, huge thunderous blow with the ability to paralyze the battle opponent and a succession of Pokemon adjacent to it. It's probably going to get knocked out though, Raikou, with that low 80 and 50 bite, but chance of paralyzing, has a dodge in there as well. 110, you have that chance with a double chance. You've got a good shot of taking the opponent out. And remember, if it's there's a Pokemon adjacent to it that's electric type, that Thunder becomes 120, 80 becomes 90, 50 becomes 60. So Raikou's definitely an option, and I will be running him in my deck just because I think I will catch people out with that inflicting weight and paralyze. So Zekrom, like I say, insane. People might choose to still bring in Reshiram, just so you get that elimination potentially. And you've got Overdrive, which will make Zekrom even stronger. Zekrom plus Overdrive plus X attack, or plus the fact that you can use the Electro Energy, takes that 70, which is usually the difficult one to take out with because people run higher than 100, becomes 110. All of a sudden Zekrom, you can probably take most Pokemon out with that Fusion Bolt. So I definitely look out for that. I still need to pull him, and maybe, I mean, we've got 200 gems here, we might get lucky. So for the rest of the electric deck, we have Stunfisk, who is ground and electric type, who will go to 2 MP and have Electric Trap and Fissure. This is just not a good choice. A, because it's 2 MP doesn't make it that much of a good advantage compared to other electric types. It has the ability Electric Mat, so other Pokemon can pass through it. Which, okay, Zapdos is probably going to want to MP move past it, and it will become paralyzed. But it's too much of a disadvantage that you don't want Pokemon being able to pass through you, even if they do become paralyzed. Electric Trap has the ability to inflict the battle opponent and all flying Pokemon and water type Pokemon that are not ground type Pokemon within 2 steps become paralyzed. Very specific. And so your flying types will become paralyzed there within 2 steps of it, but it's going to be 50, so it's going to get knocked out. Just not a great choice. It's not a good Pokemon that will stand its ground. Fissure, knock the battle opponent out if it's not a flying type. That's the biggest reason why, because you're going to have Zekrom and Zapdos to compare with. And it's not going to do anything. The purple attack will get outdone by the yellow attack as well. So not a good choice. Galvantula is actually an alright choice because people will be paralyzed. The opponent's Pokemon that have passed over it will become paralyzed, just like Stunfisk. It gets 3 MP. If they are paralyzed, then it can deal 2 damage, double damage, 120 attack. With that extra 10 potentially with the plate, Electric Thread can cause opponents to become paralyzed and inflict weight. That's the key. It can inflict weight. So in combination with Raikou, I think we're going to see some sneaky Galvantula moves where Raikou comes out of the just comes flashing by with the pass through 3 MP, goes over a weight 3. That gives you the opportunity to inflict weight, actually move Raikou into position, and then go for the killing pass by. So I think Galvantula really could work nicely in combination with Raikou, and I hope to see some of that getting pulled off. Hopefully not against me, but watch out for it. Electabuzz is another type that can paralyze with its knocked out weak attacks. This Pokemon damage is increased by every +10 for every electric type Pokemon it is connected to. It's not going to get enough of. If that was all on the field, which I think it should be really, that would give it a really nice bonus, but it's not going to be effective enough. There's way better types. Joltik will be a good type if you want to have that decider. If you've got 3 Zapdos, I would recommend running a Joltik, just so they all become 101. And it also backs it up with Electric Thread, which can cause the opponent to become paralyzed and inflict weight 3. So just like Galvantula could work in combination with Raikou. In the uncommon department, we do have very little options. You could go. Raichu is strong and cannot be paralyzed. Has that 100 attack. Pikachu the addition where you can, with the different type, we go check the deck, that Pikachu will definitely have some strength. It's a strong figure to have. If we just quickly look at it, we're in electric already, got so many common Pokemon, and the rare Pikachu that we can use, sorry, it's non-common, it has quick attack 50, thunder 100, thunder wave can become paralyzed, and shock. For me, it's just not a reliable enough a character. You know, that thunder shock is huge, but definitely a good cover if you're running out of figures to use. Next up then, let's look at ground types. Now, one ground type that will not feature in the material section is Groudon. If you picked him up, he's going to have a massive 130 and 90 break energy. Wow. 1 MP. If you do run it and somebody happens to have a Kyogre and you run like 2 Groudon, you get plus 1 MP and plus 20 damage when it's on the field. So it's going to be a real powerhouse. 130 smash. Not much is going to be able to take that down, but with the 1 MP and the movability of the 3 MP figures that are going to be in the electric deck, it's going to get surrounded. You know, it's got a dodge and the break energy, it can be beaten. So I just don't see it being effective enough. Purple types can also affect it quite well. So if people are trying to do that, Galvantula, Thunder, Electric Thread, Paralyzed Weight, Raikou move, he's vulnerable to it, and he'll lose his dodge then, giving a big miss section. So definitely a good option if you run them in the gym, but yeah, the problem with the ground choices is there are so many great choices, but they're all 1 MP. This guy is the best choice, and if you are running a ground deck, you have to have him in your deck. Lance Core gives the ground type Pokemon 10 extra damage when Zygarde is on the field, unless this Pokemon is affected by a special condition, which it could become with the paralyzing effects. But Land's Wrath becomes 100. So not only is it that amazing ability where it can knock purple Pokemon with purples on their disc out if it spins purple, it also can match up with a Zapdos 100 attack when it's on the field. Dragon Breath becomes 140, plus 20 buff, plus its plus 10. Wow. And Extreme Speed backing it up with 80 damage, but yellow disc. Zygarde's a serious, like, if there was some great ground figures, I would be so tempted to run him. I'd be tempted to run Zygarde times 3 if there was some runners that could provide that support and fend off those Zapdos quickly rushing you. But I don't think there is. Your only EX form of 2 MP choice is really Garchomp. Firefang becomes 80, 90 with Zygarde on the field. Dragon Rush becomes 120, 130 with Zygarde on the field. Double Flight is a real cool new effect. I always hated Double Flight because I just thought I understood where it was going. It was a very unique move, but it just never really came into effect. This Pokemon now jumps over the battle opponent, moving to a spot adjacent to it, and if the opponent Pokemon is affected by a special condition, it's knocked out. So now it also has the ability to knock Pokemon out, and after moving, it may attack an opposing Pokemon again, but just once, whereas before it was unlimited. So it can, if you have a field of paralyzed Pokemon, would work quite nice in combination with Garchomp. But purple attacks, yellow discs on the electric side, it's a weakness for me. It will just get exploited with the electric deck. Rhyperior, what I don't like facing Rhyperior when I use it is when I'm facing a Zapdos, because the Rock Wrecker becomes very hard, a lot harder to pull. Rock Blast is covered with if you've got a buff on your Zapdos, but Rock Blast will have 120, so it will hit that and it will probably knock out most Pokemon, but it's 1 MP. I just can't tolerate that 1 MP. Bulldozer, obviously a crazy move that you can use with the Pokemon Switch. With those rushes with Zapdos, you might opt to do that and put that in your deck. And that's the EXs that we can talk about in the ground deck. We have Marshtomp, which I really like this guy, with the fact that he's got Mudshot going up to 100. So inflicting MP markers on could really put Zapdos kind of fend them off and stop the extreme ability of moving 3 steps through Pokemon. Muddy Water, though, again makes it vulnerable to the battle opponent and one Pokemon directly behind it and knock 1 step back. And Protect. You might not, you're not going to see as many water types on to defend, to give it that buff at +1. So if you did use it, then obviously you get Zygarde and Groudon and Rhyperior at +2, but too slow. You're not going to get that happening a lot. Flygon, I really love Flygon, and is a great counter to big strong decks. But when the strong decks are yellow types, it's not going to get the evolve from Vibrava very easily. Zapdos, your Vibrava will slow the Zapdos down, but as soon as they get a chance, they can just. I'm going to actually in the material section. Do I have every EX ground type? I think I might do. Yeah, so Vibrava is going to stop them and hold them back for a bit, but he's not going to be able to then initiate an attack and do much damage, and he's going to be exploited by that purple disc. Sorry, I missed out the 3 ground types that I don't have. Swampert, Torterra, and Seismitoad. Swampert, another 1 MP, insanely powerful, but 1 MP. In combination with Zygarde, 140 Hammer Arm, and 100 Ice Punch. Tractor, if there's 3 on the field. There'll be 3 water types, so you could run 3 Swampert, but it's just the 1 MP. You won't get that utility. You'd need to use long throws to get them out quickly, which you could use with a long throw, and also run a goal block, but you're missing all those cards that you could place that you could put into other things that might be more useful. Torterra, 1 MP. Earthquake going into a massive 140, but it's just I'm just getting hit by 1 MPs, and I'm thinking I cannot see these working in decks effectively and winning more games than a deck that has 3 MP Pokemon. They're just too difficult to get out. Once you get these guys out, though, to be fair, you only need to get your Swampert out and then a goal block, and then nobody is hitting your goal, and you could get Torterra on, but how are you going to get your 1 MP Pokemon past Torterra? You're not going to be able to get them out. Your other one's going to be blocked, and you're going to be forced to move Torterra off if you want to get somebody out, and then it's going to get exploited. So I would recommend, don't run that risk. Run an electric deck, just because there's so many. And Seismitoad with the 90 Earthquake, just not strong enough with the bumpy vibration, being able to inflect weight. You could run Seismitoad in combination with Raikou. You could run a Typal, run a Trip Seismitoad, Trip Raikou deck. Who's got that? And just inflict weight and then pass through them. Yeah, it's just not strong enough. The Earthquake needs to be bigger for me. You can inflict poison on Pokemon, so that could be annoying to deal with. In the rare department, as we talk about, Flygon, Marshtomp, Onix, 1 MP. I'm not even going to give him the time of day. Gabite, you could get that evolve, and with a 90 Dragon Claw and a 60 Slash, he's always a good combination, a good player to use with that Sand Veil. It's a lovely ability to have, but I don't think we're going to see it becoming effective with the Yellow Disc covering his Sand Attack defense. Steelix, not worth mentioning, I don't think. No special abilities that are going to help. It's powerful though. Palpitoad could run in combination with the Seismitoad to inflict weight on people and Mudshot, but not powerful enough. You've got Nincada, Trapinch. Trapinch isn't going to trap flying types, not worth it. Pupitar is not going to be strong enough, even if you get the evolved. There's other better figures than Tita. Rhydon, if you're going for that Rhyperior evolve, could do some good damage with Stomp and the Horndrill and move 2 MP in a straight line, but yellow discs, there's just too many yellow discs on the dance floor. Just don't go there. I've just got to say, it has to be an electric deck. So, but the problem what is with running an electric deck is, if you're like me, you don't have Zekrom, Raikou, or Zekrom, but you've only got one of each. I don't know. You might not have a lot. I think there'll be a lot of people with Zekrom, because I around that banner was like, I swear, the time where people spent all their gems and got Resh Zek decks, and I think we'll see a lot of people with Zekrom. Still haven't got him. Still don't get him. Right. So, who are the important counters to think about? There are some definite Pokemon that you can put in your squad to defend against some of these decks. Virizion is going to be a defense against the high attackers if people are running ground type decks. It is not going to be a defense against, you won't be able to pass through Zapdos types, so it's going to be knocked back there, and you're only going to be really relying on Grass Knot. I don't think Virizion will be a good option in this gym. Terrakion is always a good option when there's blue types, but I don't think there's many blue discs that you can really get that benefit with. So I still don't think it, but Cobalion is one that I'm really looking at and thinking he could be really good because of the inability to get knocked out, and adjacent Pokemon near him won't get taken out by gold attacks. So Cobalion is a great defensive gold blocker when you've got Zapdos and Raikou on the deck. On the field, they're going to be hard to take them out. So this is where I'm really looking at Cobalion and thinking he could feature and be effective, and I might be tempted to put him in my deck. Moltres, I've got 2 of these, and I think Moltres is still going to be a great addition to your deck because of the block. Just the fact that it has ability Soar, it will block those Zapdos attacks, and also if it's got that 110 attack, which will back it up against those the Thunder Crash, and it'll counter it and do enough damage. With the plate, you might need to watch out for that. I've got a pretty high Moltres, so I don't think I'd have to worry about that. So I think Moltres needs to be in your deck if you don't have. I definitely have 2 legendary birds that have Soar, because you're going to need to block that Zapdos ability. Otherwise, it's an overpowered Shuppet, insanely overpowered Shuppet, right? So definitely get them in your deck. We have Reshiram, definitely can be run with Zekrom, because it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see some eliminations. The Deoxys squad, there's too many yellow discs for them to be effective. When we see gyms with a lot of yellow discs, Deoxys deck is greatly reduced. When there's purple attacks and white strong attacks, that's when they reign supreme, because there's no counters to the Psycho Barrier of the defense Deoxys. But don't see that being effective. And I think they're the main counters that I could see working in this gym. Yeah, they're the main ones. For me, Moltres, Articuno if you really need to defend, but it's just not strong enough, so I wouldn't recommend him. I recommend Moltres as the defense. Has to be in your squad to prevent the Zapdos rush. Sceptile could also feature, actually. It's always going to be effective with that stealth hit. Yellow attack for any purple discs in there, and Leaf Blade hitting a massive 140. So Sceptile will definitely have some strengths in your deck, and then you can run that Tropical Energy to prevent the Paralyze as well. So what's my deck going to look like? Not that. That's what my common deck looks like. So I was playing around a bit and I was thinking, what should I do? And I don't think I'm going to feature Garchomp. I think Garchomp's definitely getting swapped out for Moltres. So yes, Moltres is swapping for Garchomp because of 114 is going to be a great defense against Zapdos and will block his ability to pass through me. Zapdos definitely in there. If I had 2, he'd probably be swapped out for the Jolts. I don't think I'm going to run the Jolt deck. I can't see that Paralyze coming off enough, being effective enough. They're just going to get knocked out straight away. And if a Zapdos goes up against it, people are going to have plates that remove Paralyze. It definitely have a plate that does that. I'm going to buy Electro Energy before the gym. I think I'm going to spend this 200 on a quad. Maybe pull Zapdos. That will completely change my deck. I like the option of Zygarde. It's just a shame. The thing is, I don't have a lot of purple type Pokemon. In this deck, I only have my Flame Charge and Zapdos's Thunder Charge. They're the only things that are vulnerable, so I might not even need to run a Land's Energy Plate. And so, on the electric side of things, I'm tempted by that ability to inflict weight on Pokemon that can do that. So I'm talking about Joltik, the ability to add 3 weight to your opponent, gives your guys +1 damage, so we'll give them the up. Yeah, Thunder will have 101, and just blow at 80. It's a tough one, really. I just like the fact that Zygarde's got serious power to it. And look how big that disc of Dragon Breath is. 110. Doing 120, 140 damage. Landsrath doing 100 damage. I just feel like it would be a good addition to have. I am worried about the Jolt deck. And I'm worried about who I'd have in place of it. Because I don't think I'm going to pull Virizion into this gym. I actually might pull, just because that 2 MP can match up against the best, would be Sceptile, and I'm probably going to swap Jolteon out for, wait, how many 3 MP? So I'll have 1, 2, I'd like 3 MPs actually, so I can run a certain strat that I do at the start of matches, where you pull one out, put the threat on, there, you're 3 moves away from. So I pull my Zapdos out, they probably block that, and then I pull somebody on the right side, then I pull somebody on the mid, and if they pull their guy out right next to my guy, the second guy I pulled out, you can hurdle jump to get the surround and a shot in on their goal. So yeah, I'm going to keep it in Jolteon in for that effect, and so I'm going to need to build up Zygarde, and I've got a lot of Zygardes that I can actually buff. So I'm never going to need 3 Zygardes, am I? So I can definitely take one of his compadres, sacrifice him, and get Landsrath onto 101. I don't think I'm going to need that other one at 100 and any more than that. Landsrath. Yeah, Dragon Breath at 110. It's going to be 130. Don't need 130 attack. Saying that, I better end up doing it because we'll have some big attackers. Just for that Landsrath, I think if I come up against a purple squad, I could put that in a good position and potentially clutch matches like you do with Manaphy's Song. When you hit that, when somebody attacks you, you hit Manaphy's Song, move them off the goal, and then take the win. And I am going to need to buff up my Jolteon. I just pulled a Jolteon actually. I could make my Jolteon insane and use all my rare cubes. I don't know what I'm saving that for really. Yeah, I could make Jolteon crazy good. But definitely the Jolteon sacrifice deck is definitely an option. I just think there's going to be too many big figures that will be able to block any. You just stick them on the goal line and you'd be okay. Paralyze takes away one of your. If you've got Zapdos, you inflict Paralyze on Zapdos and it loses its roost. It's not too bad. So that's the deck I'm running. Let me know what you guys are running. Hopefully if this has been helpful for you in spotting out some of the hidden little gems, you know, definitely that Raikou way. I'm gonna get one of them. I'm gonna go for it. Hopefully it's helped you, and it will help you look out for some of those things as well. Okay, that's all for this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you want to keep up to date with future content. That's all from me. See you soon.